Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I create lifestyle, entrepreneurship, LGBTQ+, and some pop culture and mindset content on this YouTube channel. And if you guys stick around, join the fam, join the squad, we'd love to have you here. So this video has been a long-awaited video. I feel like I've been planning this video or like wanting to film this type of video for like literally so freaking long, and I just like have been putting it off, and like now I'm like, okay, like let me sit down and actually film this because I think it's time. I think it's time. If you don't know me yet, my name is Amanda. Like I said, I'm 26, I live in Montreal, and I'm a lesbian. Yay. Yeah. I have made videos on YouTube for quite some time, and like at the beginning of my YouTube journey, I would post a lot about like being bisexual and like sexuality and things like that. And now I've come into my queerness identity as a lesbian, and I have a girlfriend, and that's my life. But yeah, I thought I would do a little Q&A. I had people ask questions on Instagram and then I pulled some from YouTube. So we're just gonna jump right into it because I'm excited and want to film this. So the first question is, when did you first realize you were queer and what was that experience like for you? So I like first realized that like I also kind of liked women when I was like really young. They weren't even women, girls. When I was like 11, I would say. Like that's when I was like, oh, like I don't know, like everyone has crushes on boys, and like I'm thinking about like girls, and it wasn't like girls that I knew. It was more so like celebrities. So I was like, okay, like little celebrity crushes on women, like maybe it's just nothing. And like also at 11 years old, I didn't really know about like sexuality or like the spectrums or like different labels and stuff. I just like in my head, I was like, okay, like girls get with guys, and like that's how it is. Like that's what I kind of grew up like learning and like seeing. So I was like, okay, like I just have little celebrity crushes on women, like nothing big. And then when I got to high school, and I met some other people that were queer, I was like, oh, like maybe this is who I am. Maybe like this is what I identify with. And then from there, I was like, okay, like I'm bisexual, blah, blah, blah. Dated men. And then maybe a year or two ago was when I started like questioning it and being like, do I really like men or is it only women? And it was this whole journey. But anyways, all that to say, I realized I was queer when I was 11, and those were like the first instances where I was like, oh, like women. And now I am a lesbian and I have a great girlfriend, and that's my life. So yeah, my experience was like fine. I feel like I'm very lucky to have like the parents that I have and like the support system that I have and like the friends that I have, because I've never felt like judged or anything like bad about like my sexuality and stuff. So I feel like I'm in like a good place and I have good people around me. So very lucky there. Did you have any queer role models growing up? I did not like have any queer role models in my like immediate life. Honestly, there was no one that like I really knew that was like queer, gay, lesbian, or anything like near me in my life. I was really like the first, and honestly in my family I feel like I might be the only one or the only one that's come out. So yeah, that's really fun. I think I found a lot of like my queer role models online and um on the internet. I really enjoyed watching like Glee and Pretty Little Liars. Pretty Little Liars for Shay Mitchell. In real life, I think she's unlabeled in real life, but Emily in Pretty Little Liars, my girl. So I grew up like loving that character. Also Santana in Glee, grew up loving her. So those were kind of like the people that I was like, okay, like these women who also are not white are playing these characters that are queer, and that's kind of like gave me the representation that I felt like I needed at the time. Do you have a favorite way to express your queerness through style, hobbies, art? I don't necessarily think I do. I'm just very vocal about it, I think. And I mean, I guess the way that I dress, I would call myself like tomboy femme. That's kind of like what I go with. I don't really align with like a femme lesbian or a mask lesbian. I feel like I'm just like in the middle. So like maybe how I dress, but like I don't know, like sometimes I ask people, I'm like, if you saw me on the street, like would you think I'm gay? And like most people say yes, which like is very surprising to me. I don't think so, but also like what does gay look like? I feel like it's like just a stereotype. Like growing up too, I was always like, oh, like I don't think I'm gay because like I don't want to look like Ellen DeGeneres. Like that's not me, so maybe I'm not gay. But now I feel like we are shown such different versions of gay and different looks and styles of like what gay is. Does that even make sense? So no, I don't think there's like a specific way that I show my queerness, but I do think I'm very vocal about it. So I guess like by talking about it, I don't know. I hope that answers the question. How do you talk to people about your queerness who might not understand it? I think just being honest about it is the best way to go. And if someone doesn't want to try to understand you, there's actually no point of trying to make them understand. If someone's being very open and like curious and like asking questions in a nice polite way because they want to learn and like want to be educated, I think that's one thing. But if you're trying to educate someone or make someone understand something that they will never be able to understand or be open about, there's no point in doing that. And that's kind of what I've realized now, is just like, I am who I am, and I love who I am, and I love my queer identity. And I think if someone doesn't want to love it or doesn't want to understand it, there's no point in me trying to make someone understand it, if that makes any sense. Like, at the end of the day, if someone wants to be closed-minded, that's on them, and it shouldn't require me trying to like educate them and change their mind. What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone questioning their sexuality or gender? That's a hard one. I think just like being open with yourself, and if you have a gut feeling, or like if you know something and you don't want to admit it, just admit it to yourself. Because I feel like that was me for like a little bit of a time. Like I was like going back and forth, and I was like, oh my God, like I don't know, but it was really just me like not wanting to like fully admit it to myself. So I think just being honest with yourself, being open. I think journaling has helped me a lot of like releasing my emotions and thoughts and feelings. So if you're questioning your sexuality right now, I think just like sit down with yourself and be like, okay, like where is this coming from? How do I feel? Do I like have feelings for anybody? Like just really getting down to the root of it and like figuring it out in that aspect, I think is very helpful. For gender, I don't really have a lot to say. I think just at the end of the day, you know who you are, and don't be afraid to embrace that. What do you hope the future of queer representation looks like? I hope that the future of queerness representation includes more people of color, because I feel like right now it's very geared towards like the white gay men, and sometimes white gay women who are mask presenting. I feel like that's like what people look at and they're like, that's gay. But I feel like there's so much like more to like being gay and being queer. It isn't only revolved around white gay men or like white mask woman. Like there is so much queer identities, and I feel like a lot of them get like pushed to the side or like not shown enough. Like there is not enough Black queer representation at all. Even Asian queer representation. Like I have had struggles finding people that look like me in the queer community being represented. So I think just like having more diversity is something that I really hope that the future holds for queer representation. If you could say something to your younger self about your identity, what would it be? I think I would say that it's going to be okay, and that your emotions and your feelings are valid, and there are going to be people along the way who make you question it, or make you feel like shit for it, or make you feel like you use them for XYZ, or have made you feel so little in your representation. But at the end of the day, like you found yourself, and you are the most confident you've ever been in your sexuality, and you found people who love you for it, and you found people who are just like amazing people in the community. So you're gonna go through shit, but it gets better. And yeah, that's what I would say to my younger self. Did you ever feel pressured to choose a label? I feel like I am a type of person that like, I like to have a label only because I like to like just have a label. I don't know. I feel like it just makes me feel like better for myself and like more secure. But also like if people want to be unlabeled, that is totally okay too and so valid. Like I have so many friends that like are unlabeled, or they just go by queer. And I think whatever feels best for you is what you should go for. And do not feel pressured to put a label on yourself because like the internet tells you to, or like, I don't even know. Do whatever is best for you. If you want to be labeled, label yourself, whatever it is. If you want to be unlabeled, don't label yourself. And also what I want to say is, if you label yourself something and it changes over time, that is totally okay, and that is totally valid. I mean, I used to be straight, and then I was like, oh, like I'm bisexual, pansexual, and now I identify as a lesbian. And I feel like very secure in that, and I don't think it'll ever change. But if it did ever change, that is okay. I feel like sexuality is like a spectrum and so fluid, and yeah, that's my answer for that. Were you ever worried about how others might react to your sexuality, and how do you cope with that? I was more so scared of like what my parents would say and like my like family. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Like my parents have never shown me any like signs of like homophobia, and like my family never really showed me any signs of that. So I was like, I'm just gonna be open, and if they don't like that or like accept that, at the end of the day, like that's who I am, and I'm not gonna change for anybody, whether it be my parents or my family or whatever. Luckily enough, they were all supportive, and whoever wants to be supportive and be in my life can be, and if they don't want to be, they don't have to be, and that's okay. I just want to protect my own peace at the end of the day. So I think I was obviously very, very, very scared, but I sometimes work on impulse, and I was impulsive and told them, and I've never felt any like bad ways about it or anything. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah, those are some of the questions I got. If you guys have any other questions, I can definitely do another Q&A and answer more things. So if you have anything you want to have answered, or if you have any questions or whatever, concerns, comments, please comment them down below. I would love to help you out and answer in any way that I can. Thank you guys for watching. If you are watching this and questioning your sexuality, just know that you're not alone, that your feelings and your thoughts and your way of life is very valid. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye guys.